Hello, we are the Ministry of the Real Truth, and we strive long and hard to bring you the real truth, the whole truth, nothing but that truth. No silly hype, bluff, other zany nonsense, such as this short. No copyright infringement was intended. We just found it on YouTube. We actually found another short, but we forgot the magazine where we wrote the notes down at dinner time at our place of employment. Left it behind, so I'll bring you that as part 2, so you can see the difference between this guy's claims and this woman's claim in these shorts on YouTube. So again, no copyright claim. Strike was intentional. Right? It's just to make people aware that people are taking the scriptures way out of context and relating it probably to a conspiracy theory. So what does this guy say?
The Bible actually exposes where Satan's city is? Check this out. Revelation chapter 2, Jesus said this, I know where you dwell, it's where Satan's throne is. In the days of my friend Antipas, the faithful witness who was killed among you, where Satan dwells. Well, if you look up the martyr of Saint Antipas, it was under the reign of Nero in a very specific city. This city is Geneva, Switzerland. Did you know that there's actually an organization in Geneva called CERN that's attempting to split between the natural and the supernatural data? Literally attempting to open a supernatural portal to the underworld. But that's not even the crazy part. Go watch the video that I pinned in the comments to learn the whole story.
Okay, this is what he claims, that the devil's sitting on a throne in Geneva, Switzerland. He's ruling that city, and the conspiracy theory of CERN and what they're doing. You need to study all this stuff, right? Go and do your personal research on it, because it's probably some sort of conspiracy theory, but then it could be fact. This guy's mixing myth with fact, right? Or taking something out of context and then trying to mix it with conspiracy theory or something like that, right? Okay, look out for part 2 where a woman says the same thing from a church, a particular church, but she goes into greater detail. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the original ancient Galilean Aramaic manuscriptures or scriptures. The disciples who hung around with Jesus for 3.5 years, 24/7, 365. Somebody there was literate, probably Matthew or someone like that. Somebody wrote down what Jesus actually said, what they saw, what they witnessed, etc. as testators or witnesses. The church of Jerusalem was destroyed, burnt or whatever, so these guys ran, but they picked up these texts and they ran with them, went to China, brought some churches there, etc. Got on well with the Chinese actually liked them, and then possibly Thomas went off to India, brought some churches there until he was martyred, run through with a spear by jealous Brahmins. So they'd give it, Adai had founded this church, the Apostolic Church of the East, and they had appointed these high priests. So these texts, manuscripts, texts were given to these high priests who then hid it from the Emperor Constantine, who wanted to destroy those texts and destroy the people who had it, because it's, he wanted a mother church, Roman empirical church. So he didn't want any opposition or competition, so that's why he went across lands and dividing and conquering, and trying to bring everyone under that one Roman empirical church, right? Roman Catholic Church in his day. So these priests hid it, therefore preserved it for over 2,000 years, right? And it hasn't been tampered with because they had no reason to change it or translate it into Greek or anything else. Because the people spoke the language, the priests read it from the liturgy today to their mass, right? Who actually understand that language, Syriac, a bit of Arabic, whatever it is. Out there in the east, the First Church. So this Esai, Mar Esai Shimon, head patriarch of that church in 1957, later assassinated by a Kurd in 1975, testified that the day that it was given by the best of hands of the apostles, it's been hidden and preserved and therefore intact, never been messed with, all that sort of stuff. A couple of others that looked at it, like Andrew Gabriel Roth at the AramaicsScriptures.com. He had that up there on his website, but he took it down for some reason. But you can find it in the PDF book. And Victor N. Alexander, the native-born Aramaic-speaking translated filmmaker, Mesopotamian historian of sorts. He translated that into the nearest English equivalent. And you can verify it as well that it hasn't been messed with. It's sitting there preserved for over 2,000 years. This ancient, very old Galilean Aramaic, which was it's a dead language, but they have the modern version. That's why we put original, ancient, very old, which differentiates it from the modern, like the modern Syriac or the modern Greek or the modern Hebrew, etc. Okay, so this guy claims it's in the Bible. It's actually Revelations 2:3. Watch out for part 2. I'll probably bring you that tomorrow when we find that link to that short. So no copyright infringement or whatever was intended. It's just to make people aware. Christians out there, you're being duped, you're being tricked, you're taking things away out of context, right? And adding a conspiracy theory to it. So we're going to look at the origin of the word, with etymology, or the origin of the word Apollyon. This is in part 2. She makes these claims it's a city where the devil dwells or sits. Apollyon, destroying angel of the bottomless pit in Revelations 9:11, a name also sometimes given to the devil. Late 14th century, from present participle of Greek, Apollyon, to destroy utterly, from Apor, from away, Elohim, to destroy, make an end of, compare, abolish. A translation of the Hebrew word Abaddon. I need some more information here on that particular word. So we're going to have a look at etymology, or the origin of Abaddon, which is basically the same. This is the Hebrew. Abaddon, late 14th century, used in Revelation 9:11 of the angel of the bottomless pit, and by John Milton of the pit itself, from Hebrew Abhadon, literally destruction, from Abhada, he perished. The Greek form was Apollyon, and here it is again, Apollyon, destroying angel of the bottomless pit in Revelations 9:11, a name also sometimes given to the devil, late 14th century, etc., etc. So it's not a city at all. Okay? In the short part 2, she goes on to say it's Pergamum. Okay? Pergamon, or Pergamum, it's in the Greek, also referred to by its modern Greek form Pergamos, was a rich and powerful ancient Greek city in Mysia, a region in the northwest of ancient Asia Minor. It was located on the south coast of the Sea of Marmara. It was bound by Bithynia on the east, Phrygia on the south side, Lydia on the south, Aeolus on the southwest, Troad on the west, etc., etc. So you got to watch out for this here, these words here, the ear on the end, the end prefixes. Okay, which means people who occupied that area. It's related to people who occupied that area. It's a Greek Latin loan word. Okay, go check out ear or a. It's in suffix or something like that, which means something along the lines of the people that dwelt there. It was a city or a geographical region occupied by certain people. Okay. Yeah, so it's located 26 miles, 26 kilometers or 60 miles from the modern coastline of the Aegean Sea, an elongated embayment of the Mediterranean Sea between Europe and Asia. It's located between the Balkans and Anatolia. It covers an area of some 215,000 square kilometers, etc., etc. On a promontory, raised mass of land, etc., etc. The north side of the river Caicus, modern day Bakirasay. Bakirasay is a river in Turkey. And northwest of the modern city of Pergamum, Turkey. Okay. It's Izmir province in western Turkey. So forth. During the Hellenistic period, it became the capital of the kingdom of Pergamon in 281-133. There's some old coins from there, from that era. BC, under the Attalid dynasty, transformed into one of the major cultural centres, and so forth. Many remains of its monuments can still be seen, and especially the masterpiece of the Pergamon altar. Pergamon altar was a monumental construction built during the reign of the ancient Greek king Eumenes, 2 in the first half of the 2nd century BC on one of the terraces of the Acropolis of Pergamum in Asia Minor. Pergamum was the northernmost of the 7 churches of Asia, cited in the New Testament book of Revelation. Okay. So Pergamum was the northeasternmost of the 7 churches of Asia, cited in the New Testament book of Revelation. It goes on about the city, location, ruins of the ancient city of Pergamum. So it existed. Give me some more information here. Pergamum lies on the north edge of the Caucasus Plain in the historic region of Mysia in the northwest of Turkey. The Caucasus River breaks through the surrounding mountains and so forth. More information. History. Pre-Hellenic period. More in Hellenistic period. Roman period. Byzantine period, etc. Pergamum and myth. Trying to find information about it in the Bible, from the Bible. Here we go. In the New Testament book of Revelation, the faith of the Pergamum believers who dwell where Satan's throne is commended by the author. Who was the author? John of Patmos, exiled on Patmos Island for his belief in the Christ, the Messiah. Many scholars believe that the seat of Satan refers to the Pergamum altar due to its resemblance to a gigantic throne. Okay, well-preserved theatre of Pergamum. And so forth. So, look at Abaddon. The Hebrew term Abaddon, meaning destruction, doom, and its Greek equivalent Apollyon, according to Greek, Apollyon, meaning destroyer, appear in the Bible as both a place of destruction and angel of the abyss. It's a place of destruction, so it actually was a place. Mythical place of destruction, probably the pit, the abyss, and an angel of the abyss. In the Hebrew Bible, Abaddon is used with reference to a bottomless pit, often appearing alongside the place of Sheol, meaning the resting place of dead peoples. In the book of Revelation of the New Testament, an angel called Abaddon is described as the king of an army of locusts. His first name is first transcribed in Koine Greek, Revelation 9:11, whose name is in Hebrew is Abaddon, is etc. etc. and then translated as Apollyon. The Vulgate and the Douay Rheims Bible have additional notes, that means extra notes, not present in the Greek text. In Latin, exterminans being the Latin word for destroyer. It's etymology. That means destroyer. The Septuagint, an early Greek translation of the Hebrew Bible, renders Abaddon as Greek there, while Greek Apollyon is the active particle of that, to destroy. Okay. Judaism, the term Abaddon appears 6 times in the Masoretic text of the Hebrew Bible. Abaddon means destruction or place of destruction, or the realm of the dead, and is accompanied by a Sheol. So all this, it's a city, all this little stuff is crap. Okay, they've taken it way out of context. And here's the verse in the New Testament. The New Testament contains the first known depiction of Abaddon as an individual entity, or let's say angel, or even a demon. A king, the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew is Abaddon and in Greek Apollyon, and in Latin exterminans. Revelations 9, Douay Rheims, and so forth. In Revelation 9:11, Abaddon is described as destroyer, the angel of the abyss, and as the king of a plague of locusts resembling horses with crowned human faces, woman's hair, lion's teeth, wings, iron breastplates, and tail for scorpion stinger that torments for 5 months anyone who does not have the seal of God on their foreheads. The symbolism of Revelations 9:11 leaves the identity of Abaddon open to interpretation. Protestant commentator Matthew Henry 1708 believed Abaddon to be the Antichrist, whereas the Jameson Fawcett Brown Bible Commentary and Henry Hampton Halley identified the angel as Satan. Early in John Bunyan's The Pilgrim's Progress, the Christian pilgrim fights over half a day along with the demon Apollyon. This book permeated Christianity in the English-speaking world for 300 years after its publication in 1678. And goes on about the Methodist publication, and deism, apocryphal texts. In the Gnostic 3rd century Axel Thomas, Abaddon is the name of a demon or the devil himself. So pretty similar to the etymology. Yeah. So it's not a city. Satan isn't sitting there on his throne. He's not ruling that city. It's a whole lot of garbage. They've taken the scriptures way out of context. Okay, so let's have a look at the original ancient, very old Galilean Aramaic manuscripts, been there preserved for over 2,000 years, translated into the nearest English equivalent by native born Aramaic translator, Aramaic speaker, translator, filmmaker Victor N. Alexander. This is Revelations 2:13, and it reads, this is Jesus talking through John. He had a vision on Patmos Island. I know of your works. He's talking to this certain church. Okay? There's 7 churches, and he's talking to one of them. And to the angel, or the messenger in the church of Pergamum, write, these are the things that the one who has the sharpened sword with 2 edges says. It's the Messiah, Jesus the Messiah, the kingdom of heaven. It's the sword of truth. Right? Cuts deep to the very marrow. The truth one. I know of your works. This is the Christ, right? Speaking through John. Who's writing it down? Who wrote it down? I know of your works and where you dwell. Okay. So he knows where their church is and what they get up to. Where there is a throne. Okay. There should be in the footnotes chair, but unfortunately he hasn't put that there by the looks of it. 2:13. No, he hasn't put it there. But trust us, because one of the other verses or maybe in Revelations about a throne, it's actually translated in footnotes as seat. So Satan dwells there. Okay. There's evil there. There's evil going on there in this particular era. Okay. In John's day. John on Patmos Island, John the Revelator. However, you held fast my name. And here it is, here, so it's actually wrong footnote. 2:12, literal Aramaic idiom or expression, meaning for throne in the Aramaic, is chair. Literal Aramaic idiomatic construction, and took you by my name. Okay, so they had faith in the Christ, and it didn't deny, that he was the manifestation, he's the Messiah. They had hope and trust in him in those days. When his witness appeared, maybe, it could be the Christ speaking through John. Okay, it could be God talking to John about the Christ. And you did not deny my faith in those days when my witness appeared, my faithful one, the one you killed, where Satan dwells. Okay. Except I have more on you. He's got some dirt on him. You have someone there who has taken to the teachings of Balaam. It's a false god that teach Balak. So we get 14. 2:14. Literal Aramaic idiom retained of the past. Literal Aramaic idiom retained. Contradictions. Literal Aramaic idiom throw. Okay, so go back here. Don't want to confuse you. So we just basically go through that. Balaam would be a false idol, false god. Yeah, an old god of the past. Okay. To provide excuses or contradictions before the people of Israel, to eat idol sacrifices and to fornicate. Thus you also have taken to the teaching of rituals, washing the cup, the inside of the cup, washing the plates, knives and forks, all this sort of stuff, right? The old Jewish rituals, temple rituals, Pharisees and Sadducees. Through them you appear to be pretending, you're faking it, right? Okay, so we've got 15. To be sure that's right. 2:15, literal Aramaic, idiomatic construction, by through their appearance becoming. Okay, it's kind of hard because to understand it, because Eastern thought, and it's translated exactly from that language, right? By through their appearance becoming. So it sort of hints at they appear to be holy, etc., or becoming righteous or whatever along those terms, but they're actually not. Hopefully we got that right. Let's go back here and look at it again. We don't want to take it away out of context, right? Yeah, thus you also have taken to the teaching of rituals, cleaning of the cups, washing of the plates, all the old Jewish temple rituals, etc., little sacrifices, so forth, yeah, all this sort of stuff. Through them you appear to be pretending. Okay, you're making out you're righteous and holy through doing this, but that doesn't make you righteous and holy, right? It just makes you very hygienic, orientated, all this sort of stuff. Okay, and if you are not, I will come upon you quickly and will approach them by the sword of my mouth. Truth coming out of his mouth, Christ's mouth, right? Whoever has ears listens to what the Spirit is telling the churches. The Holy Spirit. Okay. The victor shall be nourished by the hidden manna and shall be given a white tablet, on the tablet a new name written, that which no one knows except the one that consecrates. So the only one that knows what that name means is the Christ himself. So let's go have a look at 17. 2:17 in the footnotes. Okay, a list. It's giving you a white tablet. It's a list, right? Etc. 2:17. Yeah, given a tablet, it's got a list on it, right? It's got a new name which no one knows except the one that consecrates. Give it down there. Okay, it's a list. Okay, human, literal Aramaic, idiom, plants. 2:17. Okay. You said the one that plants it in your mind, something like that? Puts it on your mind, maybe? I don't think it means literal plants, you know? Consecrates, blessings, makes it sacred, blesses it. Okay, makes that name holy, something along those lines. Makes that name righteous. So we're talking about the Christ. And to the angel or the messenger of the church of Thyatira, right? These are the things that son of Allah or God in English. It's Allah in Aramaic. It's nothing to do with Allah of Islam. It's not the same. Who has eyes like flames of fire, and whose feet resemble Lebanese copper. Okay, so it's not saying there that Jesus was black. It's just saying that he has eyes of fire, like flames of fire. Okay. Very deep and mysterious. And whose feet resemble Lebanese copper. Okay, Lebanese copper is not black. We've had some people in our comments before say, oh, he's got brown feet or whatever, that makes him black. Okay. No. You're thinking about, you're trying to claim that he's black, you Hebrew Israelites, whatever. because you're black, right? And you want something to identify with, so they make it out that he was black when he actually was olive skin, something like that. Yeah, he had a bit of sun on him, from a bit of tan on him from the sun, being in the sun all day, sure, but he wasn't black. You're looking at him with a physical appearance. This is a spiritual appearance. His heavenly body, not his physical earth body. Okay, so this is a warning to that church. And it's talking about Jezebel, a Jezebel. She came in and claimed to be a prophetess. Here it says here in 20. He states the good works of that particular church in Thyatira, but he says, hang on, there's something I got against you though. Some dirt on you, because you have allowed that woman of yours, Jezebel, probably not a real name, but she's like Jezebel of the Old Testament, right? Very cunning, very persuasive. The one who says she is a prophetess and teaches and misleads the Christ's servants or slaves, those who are devoted to him, right, into fornication and eating of idol sacrifices, meaning that they get these idols of stone or rock or wood or whatever to bless this food. They say prayers to it, all that sort of stuff, but these idols don't do anything, they don't speak, they don't do anything. So and you gave her time so that she would repent. Yeah, you gave her obviously that period that she could turn from those sins, and she was not pleased to give up her fornicating, sleeping around, right, sleeping with everybody she could every time taking her. But look, I shall throw her into a sick bed. She's going to get some sort of disease or illness, and to those who accompany her, because if you lie down with a prostitute and become united with one, you're sharing her diseases, all that sort of stuff according to Scripture. I shall bring great suffering unless they repent from her practices. Okay, they've got to separate from her, repent, right, have true remorse, ask for forgiveness of God, of the Christ, their souls cleansed, all this sort of stuff, washed in the blood of the Lamb, all that sort of stuff, right? Or else they're going to suffer with her. And to her children I shall bring death. That's probably referring to, she might have had offspring, but it's probably those who followed her. Okay, that he'll bring death. And all the churches shall know that I, Christ, am the guardian of hearts and souls, who gives each one of you according to your deeds. So what you do in this life, you get paybacks in the afterlife, right? You get judged for it. Yeah. But to you I say, I, Christ, say, to those others that are in Thyatira, or those that do not hold to these teachings, those people that do not know the depths of satanic deception, like they claim, I shall not burden you any further. So he's not going to go on and on and on, right? And he says, hold fast to the knowledge that you possess until I come back. Okay, that's the faith, the hope, the trust in the Christ. Okay, all these scriptures, etc., of what he did, what he said, what he was about, etc. Hold on, don't let go, because to the victor and the protector of his works, to the very end, shall have authority over the nations. They'll end up ruling over the nations. And the Christ shall shepherd them with a rod of steel, and like a clay plate, scatter out your pieces, just as I was commissioned by my Father, and receive the morning star. Whoever has ears, listen to what the Spirit tells the churches. Okay, so he's talking about God. He was given a task by God. He was commissioned by the Father, God, Allah. To 27. Footnotes: literal Aramaic idiomatic expression with respect to my Father or Christ's Father, his own Father, or as a figure of speech, planted or consecrated. Blessed and made righteous. We're thinking that's probably what it is. Okay, so all this hoo-ha about soon being a place where Satan sits and he rules and all this sort of stuff, it's all would have been spiritual, right, in that era. As Joel was on Patmos, right, all these churches had something going for them, but then they had something against them. So they were warned, if you keep doing what you're doing, you'll end up losing your reward, the crown of life, everlasting life, etc., etc. Okay. He's telling them to be diligent, have discernment, watch out for these people who are coming in claiming to be Jews, i.e. spiritual Jews. Okay, because in Revelations or somewhere else in Scriptures it says there's no longer any differentiation, or there's no difference anymore, right? Because if you all believe in the Christ, you're all one, right? You're all spiritual Jews. You're not Jews of the flesh, of the traditions, of the rituals, of the little holocaust, right? The little sacrifices, washing the plate, washing inside the cup, and all this sort of stuff, right? Okay, that's all physical, and they think, oh yeah, by doing that, we're doing God's service, all this sort of stuff, when it's just basically a chore, just going through all these rituals, right? That's all it is. He wants more than just rituals. He wants your whole mind, body, spirit, your heart, right? Your whole devotion, not spending a lot of time doing rituals, cup washing, all that sort of stuff, and spending, say 90% of the time doing ritual cup washing and all that sort of stuff, but only 10% on him, right? He wants your true devotion, he wants your love, he wants your focus, he wants everything like that, right? Okay. Because they're just going through a rigmarole, they're just going through a role, they're just acting, they're pretending, making up, in those days, these Pharisees, etc., Sadducees of the temple, making up that they're all righteous and holy when they're actually corrupt, money mongers, all this other stuff, right? All this evil stuff. So, it's not a city, and it's not soon, it's a conspiracy theory thing. They might be up to something like that, up to something evil, but just be careful, have diligence, have discernment, be wary, watch out for these people that say this kind of crap, right? Look at the Bible, look at the Scriptures, study it, pray about it, try to fully understand what it actually means. We suggest you look at our YouTube channel, The Ministry of the Real Truth, because we're not going to steer you wrong, pull the wool over your eyes for all this fancy Nancy huff and fluff, right? Going to give you the real truth, the whole truth, and nothing but that truth. We do make mistakes now and again, but we'll correct it. And if you bring it to our attention, we'll look at it, see if you're right, and if you are, well, we'll acknowledge you, right? Thank you for nicely bringing that to our attention. Or else we'll correct it under, put a note under our video. Oh, we made a mistake that we should have said when it actually says, like that, right? Because honesty is our best policy. Okay, so we strive by that. So we suggest subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos. So you can end up knowing the real truth, the whole truth, the full truth, etc. as we are bringing it to you according to the Scriptures, the original ancient, very old Testament, the scribal language, long-dead language, the Shana Artika Supriya of the Tav Asheret, revived, using a certain system by the Aramaic, native-born Aramaic speaking translator Victor Alexander from Bet Narain or Mesopotamia, who's translated the original Scriptures that he got hold of in Bible format from the high priest of the Apostolic Church into the nearest English equivalent. Okay, we're bringing you his website that was down, that we found a way to revive it, and all that information on it. Unfortunately, we can't bring you his videos because the Adobe Flash player that he used at that time has gone the way of the dodo. There's lots of audio out there. We might think we're thinking about doing that, bringing you that, so you can hear it, to say from Victor and Alexander, the horse's mouth, directly, right? So as I suggested, subscribe to our channel, Ministry of the Real Truth. Give us a like, add your comments below. We'll get back to you on those as soon as we can, as soon as possible. And then go share this with all your family, friends and others, telling them that finally you can learn the real truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, according to the original ancient, very old manuscripts that were hidden and preserved for over 2,000 years by the original Church of the East, founded by Adai or Thomas,